voice, it counts them all. A team of hearts with plans to share. For every soul we're standing there. It's in the ballot, it's in our hands. Together we rise and take a stand. For every dream, for every need, community spirit is our creed. The vote is here to pave the way, working hard both night and day, delivering hope, delivering dreams. We are the ones who fuel the streams. Every corner, every street, we bring the change that makes us meet. Hand in hand we hold the flame, together we'll make a lasting name. It's in the ballot, it's in our hands. Together we rise and take a stand. For every dream, for every need, community spirit is our creed. The boat is here to pave the way, working hard both night and day, delivering hope, delivering dreams. We are the ones to fuel the streams. Every corner, every street, we bring the change that makes us meet. Hand in hand we...
Okay, and welcome to tonight's It's in the Ballot show, where we've got Lynn and Bernard, who have taken out the time to put to the feet to the It's in the Ballot fire. How are things going?
You first, Lynn.
Pardon? Oh, so I've got to pick a ballot number. Is that? Yeah,
No,
okay.
no,
I'll
how
pick
things are going?
number 10.
Oh, okay,
good.
no, you're jumping way ahead of me. I asked how things are going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, we're working on it. That's, making sure people will try
Okay,
and, people will vote. Yeah.
No problem. Okay, Lynn, would you like to kick off your opening statement why you should receive one of the ticks to become the next councillor for the, now I've got to make sure I have the ward name right, Te Awamutu and Kihikihi General Ward?
So is this where I say why I'm seeking a role? Is that the question?
Yep.
Oh.
Sorry?
Sorry, is this where you say, why am I seeking a role as a candidate? Is that the question?
Yes, your 1 minute opening statement.
Okay, right. I have a doctorate in statistics and can tell from the numbers that our council is sick. It's going to take more than a Band-Aid to stem the bleeding finances. It needs a new team that will focus on the basics. Better Waipā team has identified several key objectives that we believe are essential for our community. First is that escalating debt levels must be addressed, unaffordable rate increases, lack of transparency and lack of meaningful community consultation must cease. We also need to have the council to return to basics and focus on core services. I'm standing because I agree strongly with the priorities of the Better Waipā team. One person can't save the council, but a team with the right skills can. Better Waipā can. Yeah, that's up.
No problem. Bernard?
Right. I only can emphasize what Lynn has said, because we are of the same group. Just a few personal things. Long-term residents of the Kihikihi area for around 30 plus years. I'm financially prudent. Perhaps my Dutch background comes into part there. And for me as well, there's no I in team. So that's why I hooked up and was really pleased to be part of the Better Waipā team. So that's one part of it. My experience, 20 years at council, assets, finance and property. So I'm well versed on that. Also 6 years on the local community board as well. 15 years on the board of trustees of the intermediate school, treasurer of the local Waipā as well. I'm a thinker before I make decisions. So I'm a people person. Working with the community is a big priority for me. So vote for me, and that's all I can say.
Okay, thank you for that. So let's get to the box numbers, and because we only got 2 candidates, we'll go to how we do things when we have 2 candidates. We get one candidate to pick a box number, and then both candidates get to pick the answer the question. So, Lynn, what box number would you like?
Oh, can I just ask you something before we get on to that? I thought you were going to ask us 2 questions. One was why we're seeking a role as a candidate, and the other one is why voters should give us the vote.
That's normally classed as part of your opening and your closing statements.
So we do give a closing statement, do we? Yeah.
Yes.
Because I just read what was on the thing. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you want to sit there and do that on the closing statements.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. What box number would you like to pick between 1 and 28?
I'll go for number 10.
Go for number 10. Okay, and we've got X for X-ray. Now this is going to be a lot of fun trying to sit there and do this on a smartphone. Only because I'm used to using a flash computer to do this. Okay, perfect. I've got that one right there. Okay, so we've got X for X-ray. As a councillor, how would you work collaboratively with your fellow councillors to deliver on your promises?
X. Okay. Okay, I'm standing under the Better Waipā banner and work with people with the same mindset. So we can't promise anything unless the majority of the councillors are thinking the way that we think, and that's really the issue. Yeah.
Okay, Bernard.
Yeah, my apologies. My camera is failing. I hope you can still hear me. I think that will be right.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah, so my apologies for that. Just my system. Again, I'm also standing under the Better Waipā banner and work with them and with other selected people with the same mindset. I don't promise anything because it will be a team scenario for results. I'm also keen to involve the residents of this area because there's a lot of knowledge out there which we can tap into.
Okay.
That's
Bernard, next one, you get to pick the box number. What? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my apologies.
Okay,
I will tell you when I finish talking.
Okay, keep going.
You pick one for me.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go for my birthday at 22.
Okay, which one is that?
We're about to find out. Okay, we got I for India. Now, this is going to be fun because it's always fun trying to work out how to get it do.
Okay.
Oh, no. Get the one next door to it. Got that one a little bit wrong on that one there. Okay, got I for India. How can the council contribute to civil defence and emergency management in our area?
That's a reasonable, easy question to answer. I had 20 years at council and have been part on the radio side as an amateur radio as well with the communication at civil defence. We have to get more people interested from outside to be able to do training. It's no good to have 10, 12, 20 people of council run the whole civil defense scenario if there's an emergency. I know there's shared services between other councils are already happening, and I cannot visualize one bad event happening locally. It has to, more than likely will be over the whole of Waikato, or like an earthquake which affects more than Waipā. So we have to involve other people with their skills to actually being able to manage the things. Over to you.
Okay, Lynn.
Okay, I'll agree wholeheartedly with Bernard in this one, because, you know, if there is an emergency, what you find is that there's always people around in the area who come out, who come out to help out. It's not only the civil defence. So, sort of, if, the council works in collaboration and with people, and trains people up on the outside, people who are interested in, helping out in emergencies, I think that's a very, very valuable and good thing, to have. Yeah. So, and the big benefit of this is that it gives a lot more trained people to help out. Yeah.
Okay. Lynn, what's the next box number?
I'll go number 8.
Number 8. Good old Waru. Okay, we've got H for hotel, which I think is that one there, and I'll just read it on the bigger screen for me. Te Awamutu and Kihikihi are growing communities. How will you ensure infrastructure, roads, water and wastewater keep pace with growth while keeping rates affordable?
Okay, so the thing with growth is that at the moment we're told that the developers pay, when they sell. I think, the council has to change what it's doing, and they need to make the developers pay up front, because basically more infrastructure is going to be needed for the subdivisions that they are proposing. The other thing we could also try at doing is seeing if the government contribution to these sorts of things will increase, get some sort of increase in there as well. But I do think that making developers pay upfront is a good way to proceed.
Okay. Bernard.
Yeah, it looks like I'm back. Perhaps temporarily, not sure
Yes.
what's happening.
Oh, good. We re-roll with the punches.
Awesome, thank you. First of all, I would like to slow down the developments. I understand there's like 20 plus developments projects underway, and we better have the development contributions catch up a little bit. I would like to have the developers pay at least part of the cost up front, so that the ratepayers are not paying for everything via a loan where they don't have to repay. It takes a long time for some developments to sell everything, to have titles issued. So I think if we temporarily we need to slow down. I almost comparing it to horse behind the cart, if you like. So it looks like I'm off the screen again as well. So over to you.
Okay, well, you'll have the next box number. What box number do you want it to be?
Number 7.
Number 7. Okay. Okay, we have E for electricity.
E for electricity.
Okay. What are your priorities for libraries, sports grounds, parks, recreational facilities in Te Awamutu and Kihikihi?
Okay. Council is currently in financial difficulties. We have borrowed a lot of money, So there is not a lot of leeway to get new libraries and spend lots of money on sports grounds and recreational facilities. In regards to parks, good example is the Memorial Park. I firmly believe if we keep maintaining it as it should be, and if it should have been in the first place since 1955, the park would look great. So currently, normal maintenance will take priority on everything, but we need to have the money first to prioritize, say, as an example, another library in Cambridge, or have another sports ground. We don't have the land anyway, so maintain the parks. Don't sell off any surplus parks as such, because we are losing recreational areas like that. And basically tally ho for a little bit. So do the maintenance, create some money first before we have any more priorities for especially new buildings. Over to you.
Okay, Lynn.
Right. Excuse me. I think that, I wholeheartedly agree with Bernard in that we need to maintain the existing structures that we have got and, basically do the, the usual, normal sort of maintenance, keep them, well maintained. As for, putting in new parks and playgrounds, etc., and, a library, the council isn't in a financial position to really do all of this, when they keep borrowing extra money to do their sort of what I'd classify as nice to haves, then, it puts the rates up for everybody, and, they've got to start, living within their means, and, and as I say, first priority would be turn around, maintain what you have got before you turn around and do, any new ones.
Okay. Lynn, what's the next box number?
We'll go number 16.
Number 16. Oh, the good old driver's license age. Even though I do believe there might be some 15 year, we might have all been 15 when we got ours. Got D for Delta. Okay. How will you strengthen partnership with Mana Whenua and Hapu in the decision making for local people and land use planning? Lynn.
Okay, right, with this one here, I think decision making has got to be done, for all residents, basically by all residents. After all, we're all equal, and that would be my response.
Okay, Bernard.
Yeah, interesting question, Dan. Sorry, I have to look at it again. The decision making has to be for all residents. We all bleed the same. I bleed red, you bleed red. We all have our priorities and our needs and wants, and I think all decisions have to be made for all residents. So that's my line. Back to you.
Okay, what's the next box number?
For me,
yeah.
What's left?
Number
we've
got 1 through to 6, 9, 11 through to 15, 17 all the way up to 28.
Okay, number 1.
Number 1. Okay, we got U for uniform. No, I got that with 2 more. Okay, got the right one sitting on the screen. That's what happens when I take a guess in the of which letter it is. What, with the respect to large capital projects, is it more important to support local contractors or to focus on getting best value for the ratepayers?
That's back to me, is it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. My answer is yes and no. It is important to support local contractors. There's no problem. council is currently using a preferred contractor system, but I actually think they have to get away with it. I've got examples where someone did a job for nothing, where council wanted to employ a preferred contractor and spent $100, $200, which just does not work for me. I also should say that the cheapest of tenders of contracts is not always the best one. But if the quotes are similar between, say, someone from Auckland or from Hamilton compared to Te Awamutu or Cambridge, use local because the money stays local. And that is getting the best value for the ratepayers because the people who are getting paid are paying back into the community. Over to you.
Lynn.
Okay. I don't think council need to have sort of rules as to these are their preferred contractors that they use. You know, as Bernard says, you know, if you get two contracts that are, two contractors come in with similar values for a particular contract, I'd say, you know, go for the local one. But, you always have to sort of be aware that, like the cheapest contract is, not always the best one to proceed with. So, yeah. So I think it's, if they can support local where they're getting, good value, and whatever, yeah, go for it. But, but be aware that the cheapest isn't always the best, yeah.
You might know or might not know, is Waipā District Council using an alliance model? Now, in Tararua District Council, for the road maintenance, they have an alliance model with Downer. In Wellington City Council, they have an alliance model with Fulton Hogan. And effectively, what it is the alliance has the experts that work out what's the way, in theory, to get the best bang for buck for the ratepayer. In practice, in the case of Wellington, it's been questioned whether it's actually achieved it. But do they use an alliance model for their contractors, or is pretty much of it on the open, goes around for open tender every time?
I actually think that we might have an alliance contract with one or two big contractors. And again, you need the best job for the best dollars. But I also know from previous experience that contractors, I wouldn't say often putting an extra on because they know that council will pay. So that's where sometimes you see big differences in tenders, where people who want to do the job, want to do it as cheap as possible and as good as possible, are actually missing out because there's already some bigger outfits on the side wanting to do the job, and they are, I suppose, the preferred contractor. Over to you, Lynn.
Yeah, I think they quite likely do have an alliance because, I have heard that apparently some of the contracts that, or contractors that do the work, we're paying top dollar for that, and it would be, other ones have put in and they'd do the same sort of amount of work at a much cheaper price. So, yeah, that's what I've heard anyway, yeah. Yeah.
It's always interesting to see how different councils do different things. I mean, I know both Wellington and Taurua myself. Partly Wellington is where I live. Taurua is where I've got a friend who actually works for one of the alliance contractors, and it's been interesting what things you hear in the background. Lynn, what's the next box number?
We'll go. Have we done box 22?
Yes.
Yes, we have. Yes, we've done my birthday.
Oh, okay. So we'll go box 25.
25? Oh, yes, the good old age when the insurance excess comes down for car insurance. Even though it's got to be, that was 9 years ago for me. Okay, we got D for golf. Now, G. Okay, so we've got question G. What is your plan to support local businesses, create new job opportunities, and promote tourism in the Awamutu and Kihikihi ward?
Oh, okay, right. So ideally, we do need to have the eyesight funded so that it can promote, the district, the Te Awamutu and Kihikihi district. I think they also need to have a look at the parking in the town, and because with the restricted parking that they have, it means that people don't stay very long in town at all. Like in TA, it's 120 minutes and parts of it. And okay, often you want to do more than, say, spend 2 hours in town. So I think that there, parking definitely is an issue. And and the sort of, their plans where they've been sort of putting in speed bumps and stuff like that, and blocking off streets so it diverts the cars out of the local business area. I think that all of that needs to stop. Yeah.
Okay, Bernard.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple one. Have the eyesight funded. There's a lot of queries going through the eyesight and currently run by one paid manager, and the rest of the people are volunteers. There's quite a few markets going around that area where they are. It's a good promotion thing. As an example, with the National Field Days, they used to sell the tickets to go to the field days. The free buses came there, and it was so easy. This year they could not do it because it was taken away from them for whatever reason. The local buses are stopping down there as well, the ones that are coming from Hamilton. So there's a lot of traffic going backwards and forwards. A lot of tourists are coming there for information as well. And they are buying the local stuff, what they can buy in the store as well. I also would really promote the Chamber of Commerce as a channel to be used to local businesses. I'm part of the Chamber of Commerce through Cray Power, and I think the guys, the people down there, they're running a great job of trying to keep everyone involved in the community, as well as creating opportunities. Now, job opportunities is an interesting thing. We don't seem to be handling or doing a lot of what I would call industrial developments. It's mainly housing. So a lot of builders are still having jobs here because a lot of houses are being built, but there is no, what I would call, significant opportunities to have more industrial places like a car manufacturing or anything you want to think of. So that's my spiel. But yeah, fund the eyesight and use the Chamber of Commerce, have people coming to the council meetings for a quarter of an hour and explain things to them, what's been happening. So involvement will be great. Back to you.
Okay, what's the next box number?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Keep it easy.
No, that's all right. I don't mind that. That keeps things rolling on through quite nicely. Okay, we got T for Tango. Where is it? Here we are. Okay, got that one on the screen. And T for Tango. How would you balance long-term asset renewal with keeping rates manageable?
Well, I've got a bit of a cheeky answer on that. I would start with what assets. When the CCO is taking over the water, we will be losing $230 million worth of assets to the CCO. Now, when I say we're losing it, we don't, we just kind of shift it sideways, and we still have to pay for the loans. So with water gone, what's left? Sewer lines and water lines, they're quite often together. So if a sewer line needs replaced, quite often the water is being affected by that as well. I have been working in the asset sides of council when I was working at council, and asset registers are always being updated. They're still finding new assets, which is interesting, but it also should indicate a renewal program as well. And I'm not saying that once a pipe is 50 years old, it should be replaced, because in that case, I'm looking at myself and I'm 23 years over the limit already. So they have to look at the conditions, use cameras in the pipes to see what the conditions are. If it's a good pipe, don't replace it, take it for the next time. So, but again, keeping rates manageable is doing a, how should I say, a manageable type of a system of replacing assets. And that might be harder as what it looks like, but there are some good people working at council who are in the asset management system, and they should be able to tell council what is needed, where it's needed, and how much it's going to be costing, especially like on roading. We do have a roading team at council. Sometimes I don't know what they're doing because the potholes are appearing left, right, and center, but I also know they are restricted in money in regards to NZTA as well. Okay, back to you.
Yes. Know what you mean on that one about the NZTA. Lynn.
Okay, probably like this one here, I think they sort of have to start looking at sort of quality of what things are like rather than replacing them all, like say with, if the roads, like I say, turn around, be, go out, sort of fix the potholes, rather than just sit back and leave them until it gets, things get really bad, and then, and then they, got to do more, spend more fixing things up, and, in, say, in the water or sewage, basically they sort of need to manage, be able to manage the quality of the pipes rather than say, oh, well, we'll just replace the whole lot, like do a check first and see what's actually needed rather than just going over for replacing all, because, our rates are dear enough as they are, and I think they've got to start being a lot more, careful with what they are doing. Yeah.
I've got one more note
right
in there.
It's not exactly cheap to sit there and go through everything with the rates on there, so that completely makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Lynn,
Sorry,
what's
I've
next
got one
box
note.
number?
Sorry, I had one more addition to that.
Go ahead.
Yep. I've noticed quite often that when they're replacing sewer lines, that a couple of months later, they're ripping up the roads again to do the water lines. And I think where people should be basically talking to each other to do the same job at the same time, so that reduces all the ripping up, all the discomfort for the ratepayers as well. Back to you.
Yeah, I'll agree with you wholeheartedly
Yeah,
there, Bernard. Yeah, I've seen that as well.
It's also the same with same with footpaths and all that sort of stuff. The number of times you see footpaths getting getting like a brand new footpath getting put down, and then a couple months later they're ripping up a portion because they've got to run a fibre optic cable or something's got to be run somewhere, and it's just like the two didn't talk to each other.
Yeah, no, they do seem to do that, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, and it's not always emergency repairs. Some of it is just literally like, did they not sit there and think about it first, or plan the one task before the other? It's said all the time. It's and a lot of councils do it. Lynn, what's next box number?
Have we done number 5?
Yep, we can do number 5. The age we was it kids start school at?
Yeah.
Okay, we got N for November. Okay. Many residents feel disconnected from council decision making. How will you improve transparency and community engagement?
Okay, so to improve transparency and community engagement, it's really important that the council has a public forum and they need to listen to the public. There's so much that they turn around and they end up and they have, you know, public excluded meetings. You know, they might, change the date or, you know, when they're going to have it, and they exclude the public from the meeting. And, you know, and the next thing we just hear, oh, this is what they're going to do. So they definitely need to sort of have a public forum so that they can listen to the public. And, you know, the only time that, you know, public should be excluded from meetings is, you know, if there are, you know, perhaps some sort of privacy issues, you know, might be to do with contract amount or something like that. But yeah, they need to have more public engagement.
Yeah, makes me think about negotiating those good prices for the council contracts. So you don't let the competitors know what's happening until all the tenders are in.
Yeah.
Bernard.
Yeah, I agree. We had discussions in a group before. A public forum would be great. The community boards do have public forums. It only have to be 5 minutes for half an hour maximum. So you have to basically book in your space. But I also think that for transparency and community engagement, that councillors, and there has been one or two of them, they walk around, they introduce themselves to people on the street, talk to them, and find out what the feeling is. So get out there and listen and talk to people. It might cost you a coffee or two, but so be it. There are lots of people out there with knowledge who are willing to help and discussing local matters. Now, I'm also aware that you can't please everybody, but if you get the feeling that everyone is wanting the footpaths maintained better as what they are, then there's a general feeling that it should have been. So get out there, talk to people, and basically just the whole transparency side of it. But a public forum, or in regards to what Lynn said on public excluded, the other day they had a meeting and they had 3 public excluded parts of the meeting, 3 in a row, public excluded. So I've been there at meetings myself where I was, as public, was kicked out because it was a public excluded part. No idea what they were talking about. You don't hear about it. You don't see about it. Everything is hush hush. And from my part, unless it's a real private matter, it doesn't matter. It should be open to the public because the ratepayers are paying for council, who pay the CEO to do the right job. So open and transparency should be a big part of it. Back to you.
Okay, what's next box number, Bernard?
Number 3.
Number 3, yep, we can do that. Okay, we got O for octopus. Okay. Do you support borrowing to fund major infrastructure, or should we focus on a pay-as-you-go model?
O actually stands for Oscar, but that's all right. Me as amateur radio knows that.
Phonetic
No,
alphabet,
that's
octopus
right.
sounds a bit
I
different.
like octopus as well. The current debt needs to be reduced. Okay, so it's going to be reduced by 230 million, but that's the 230 goes to the CCO, right? But even with what's left, say 180 or 200 million, interest on loans still has to be paid. You have to fund infrastructure, but if it's a central government proviso that it has to be done, then they have to start paying part of it. If it's a GST to be returned to council to pay for that. Pay as you go is really hard because then you're suddenly looking at a 50 to 100% rate increase, possibly, or even more. I know that borrowing to fund major infrastructure is a multi-generational game, but I am worried about my kids, my grandchildren, and more grandchildren to come probably, as well as other families who are doing it hard already and their families as well. So it's a hard one. I think we should not necessarily stop borrowing, but it has to be under a real tight control of council. Back to you.
Okay, Lynn.
Well, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with Bernard, because, you know, like, I think the current debt levels that the council has got, they have to be reduced, because, you know, like, we're just leaving, you know, future generations, you know, one massive, you know, if they carry on like they're going, they're going to have massive rates, and there's going to be a, you know, like, where's the limit when they stop borrowing and whatever? We're just sort of handing it on. So got to be very careful with what the money is spent on. So, you know, I think, you know, as Bernard says, you know, with some of the infrastructure, major infrastructure, you've got to look and see, well, is it a, you know, a central government, you know, is it a local government thing, or is it really that the government should be putting in something in towards it? But, you know, I do really think that we have to be very careful of what we borrow money for, because, you know, we've got to reduce the debt, you know, that we've got at the moment. It's, yeah, we just can't keep on going in this sort of manner. Yeah.
Okay. What's the next box number, Lynn?
7.
7. Already been taken, but we've got number 6.
Okay, we'll go for number 6 then. Yep.
Okay, we got J for Juliet.
All right.
No, I've got 2 over there. That's the one we want. Okay, what strategy will you support to help local businesses recover and thrive post-COVID and in a changing economy?
Okay, so I really think that the council needs to make, you know, it's, you know, like, informed decisions, and basically stick to the basics, you know, roading, rubbish and water. And, you know, they need to stop spending money on the cycleways and the speed bumps that, you know, they're putting all around the place, and improve the parking so that the customers can get customers. Like, you know, we sort of hear they're putting in cycleways and stuff like that, and they reduce the road, you know, the width of the road down, and there's often sort of no parking or only parking on one side. And, you know, the more you sort of make it difficult for people to park and that, they're not going to go into the local businesses and sort of spend their money there. Sometimes it's easier just to go to Hamilton, and, you know, there's parking there, you know, go over to Chartwell or somewhere like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So council just stick to the basics that they do, and, you know, forget some of the other, you know, agendas that they have got. Yes, over to Bernard now.
Yeah, Bernard, yeah.
Well, again, I would use the Chamber of Commerce as a channel, have council involved with the chamber as well. So ideally, perhaps have a staff member or a manager or a councillor involved on the committees with the Chamber of Commerce. The cost of living is currently extreme. The higher rates don't help, of course, but everything else does not help. A packet of butter costs you like 10, 12, whatever dollars. Every time you go to the Pack and Save or Woolworths, it's you're buying the same thing, but you spend like 10, 15, $20 more every week, every 2 weeks. So there's a lot of money involved. Post-COVID, I think that we are still struggling. Businesses are still struggling. when I go to town and I walk into a store, I'm the only one, and there's like 5 or 6 or 7 people working there. And that's in all times of the day as well. I actually don't know how they survive. And I sometimes ask, what's it like? Hard going, they say. It's really hard going. So get a Chamber of Commerce involved as a channel to use them, and also the local communities as well, like the churches. They might be able to help as well. So there's quite a few churches in Shamudu who are already running some programs as well to help with children, help with business. One of the churches I'm involved in, we're doing a tree Awamutu, where we supply wooden trees to the businesses, so to enhance their outlook as well. So yeah, that's my side of it. So back to you.
Okay. We've just done O, and I'm looking at the time. No, we didn't do O, we did J. Okay, should we get ready for hard-hitting questions?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, hard-hitting question number 1. While the government is proposing to define core services for councils through the Local Government Systems Improvement Bill, what do you consider to be core and non-core services? Bernard?
It's very simple, having been there. Core services currently are still water, sewer, roading, and stormwater, and I will probably take rubbish onto that as well. Even with the CCO taking on water, it will still be part of the core because we're still paying for it, although it won't be through council. Everything else currently would have to be considered non-core. So nice to have will only be looked at once the money is available. That's all. That's you.
Okay, Lynn?
Okay, so core services I would classify as roading, water and waste, and basically everything else I would consider as non-core. And so I think, if the council focuses in on, on its core services, and everything else is, like they're nice, call it the nice to haves, and I don't think, they should be part of what the council has to consider. Yeah. Yeah, so back to me.
I'm back again. Part on.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 2. Are you comfortable with the way the council manages its debt position? Lynn?
Okay, no, I am not at all happy with how the council is managing its debt position. All it's doing all the time is turning around and just keep on borrowing money, okay, which is not acceptable. They need to learn to live within their means, because that's how a household has to operate. I mean, you can borrow so much, but basically you still have to live between your means. And I think the council needs to start focusing on that, as well, and just reduce the debt that they've got. Like, you just look and say, some of what they've done recently, and they just, is it that the spatial design thing, pay $1.8 million for consultants, which, they borrowed all that money. And then as well as that, there's the staff time that has been wasted. Yeah. So over to you, Bernard. Yeah. So.
Okay. Bernard?
Yeah, I'm not comfortable at all either. Current debt and further increases of debts are not sustainable. Interest per year to be paid is already sitting at 15 plus million, and a debt level of 600 million has been quoted by one mayoral candidate. that will increase the interest payments to 20 to 25 million a year. Council needs to live within its means, like ratepayers have to do. Income is not an infinite item. It's actually what I would call it's a set figure, basically. One mayoral candidate is talking about zero budgets. It would be nice to have a zero budget, not necessarily on dollars, but looking at every line in the budget. But for a council to do that, the line between governance and operations is fairly wide, so you can't really do that, although it might be nice. But ratepayers have to live within their means. Superannuitants, they're struggling as well. They don't get the increases that other people do. And living is just getting expensive. So no, I'm not happy. I'm not comfortable with the way that the council is managing his debt position at this stage, and it will be in the future as well. Back to you.
Okay. Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number 3. And come on, show when it wants to sit there and do that. What is your position on retaining Waipā's District Council's Waipā Māori Ward and the Waikato Regional Council Ngāta Ki Utu Māori constituency, and why do you hold that position? And I'm just waiting for the for some reason my phone has decided to not let me change the chyron at the bottom of the screen. There we are. It's finally changed across. Bernard.
Well, the simple response is this answer, in just my opinion. The referendum outcome will be the result people have to live with, whether it's pro Maori ward or not. My family has a mixture of cultures, part Maori, Indian, and European. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. One of my daughter-in-laws, she's part Maori. She's doing a master's at Massey University, and she's a really bright person. So there's a future for all people. So I believe as individuals, we can achieve anything we like. So the referendum will basically be the guideline what will happen if we do have the Maori wards or we don't have the Maori wards. So at this stage, we cannot change that process, because people will vote whichever way they will vote. So back to you.
Okay, Lynn.
Okay, I agree with Bernard on that. Like when there are the elections, we are having a vote, or the count. There's a vote in on whether the Maori ward stays in or not, and basically, regardless of whatever personal position you may hold, we have to go with what is picked by the rest of the population. Like, it is a democracy, and we just have to live with the outcome of what's been selected. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, let's get ready for closing statements of why you should receive one of the ticks to be on council. Let's kick off with Lynn.
Okay. Right. My background in managing the department and external consultancy has given me skills that are directly transferable to local governance. I know the importance of making clear, well-informed decisions that ensure you get value for money, and listening and working collaboratively to achieve the outcomes. I'm standing because I agree strongly with the priorities of the Better Waipā team. One person can't save the council, but a team with the right skills can. Okay, so my role in the team is going to be looking after the numbers. I'm standing with me in Te Awamutu ward is Bernard, who has got inside knowledge of council operations, and we've got Les Bennett representing farmers and common sense, and there's also Mike, Hope and Ian who are representing businesses, families and community groups and world-class systems. So all I can say is vote Better Waipā for the cure. Vote for me, vote for Bernard. Yeah, that's part of Better Waipā.
No problem. And Bernard, your closing
It's a
statement.
hard act to follow. Thanks, Lynn. My strengths are numbers, but also people. I like people, always have. I've been called an elderly gentleman once, but that's part of life. I'm still opening doors for people and get up if people want to sit like on the bus. That's me. Just like I said before, I've got 20 years at council. Finance first, assets, and then property. I know how the council runs. That's that part of it. I also know that things have changed since I left. When I left, I was made redundant in 2010. We were employing 208 people. Now they've got 350. So a lot of change has happened. I bring so that experience at council, as well as 6 years at a community board, also board of trustees at intermediates for 15 years, current treasurer of the TA Craypower, which I like. It's not a busy job, but it has to be done. And basically, I'm living for my family, for what we're doing here. And I like to have things changed slightly. I know we can't change the footpaths and the cycleways in Kihikihi because it will cost a lot of money, which we just don't have at this stage. But we can make some subtle changes to like the speed humps and stuff like that. So I'm pro people. I like to involve the community more with everything what council does, because I think that council currently does not listen to the ratepayers, does not care about the ratepayers. Submissions are not being listened to. There was a lot of anti-cycleways here in Kihikihi, but they still did it because it was what they call so-called free money. I did not call it free money because it still cost us $2.5 or $3 million here locally. So that's my spiel. Also part of the Better Waipā team. Lynn has already said who they are. It's a great team. I did not know any of the people when I got involved. I like them. They're similar thinking as me. And I certainly hope that that we are being elected because we want to make a change and start working for the community again. So vote for any of the Better Waipā people. It makes sense because we will bring some experience, but we also will involve the community. Back to you.
Not a problem. Okay. Now, just waiting for it to reduce the clips. Thank you for participating on tonight's It's in the Ballot show. It's not easy to jump in front of a camera and make it all work, but thank you for taking the time out tonight to answer the questions, and good luck with your campaigns.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. And might see some of you in person this Saturday at Cambridge Town Hall this Saturday or Sunday.
Okay, I won't be, but I'm at the Good Union on Friday evening from 4:30, supporting the Cambridge team as well. So if you come
No
there,
problem.
come and see me, and I'll shout you a beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay.
Cheers, mate.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank-
That's right. If you want to stay for post-show chats, we can do that. But from our viewers watching online, you have a good evening, and we'll see you guys coming live